Do you ever feel like you're walking on eggshells? Like you're constantly second-guessing your own feelings and reality in your relationship? You know that feeling where no matter what you say, your words get twisted and you somehow end up being the one to blame? That sense of confusion and self-doubt is a classic sign of psychological manipulation. But what if you could become resistant to it? This video is the mental vaccine you've been looking for. I'm going to give you 7 clear steps to not only spot manipulation tactics like gaslighting and love bombing instantly, but to build such strong emotional resilience that you can reclaim your reality and your peace for good. But before we dive into the 7 steps, here's one practical tool you can use today. The next time you get a text or an email that feels pressuring or makes your stomach drop, your greatest power is the pause. Don't reply immediately. Instead, use a simple, pre-prepared phrase like, "Let me think about that and get back to you," or "I need to check something first." This isn't a lie. It's a strategy. It breaks the manipulator's control over your reaction time and gives you the space to decide what you truly want to do, free from pressure. It's your first line of defense in the digital age. All right, let's keep going. If that feeling I just described hits close to home, please know you're not alone and you're not imagining it. What you're experiencing is real, and it has a name: psychological manipulation. It's a pattern of behavior someone uses to control, degrade, or scare you. It's often subtle, a slow chipping away at your self-esteem that can leave you feeling lost, anxious, and totally disconnected from your own judgment. A manipulator's goal isn't to connect with you. It's to control you. They do this by exploiting your emotions, insecurities, and your basic human need for love and approval. Over time, it can feel like a kind of psychological warfare that makes you doubt your memory, your perceptions, and even your own sanity. But here's the powerful truth: you can develop an immunity to it. The process is based on an idea from psychology called inoculation theory. Think of it like a medical vaccine. A vaccine gives your body a weakened version of a virus, so it can learn to build antibodies. We can do the same thing with our minds. By exposing ourselves to weakened examples of manipulation and learning to spot them, we build up cognitive antibodies. This is sometimes called pre-bunking. It helps you build resistance so that when you face the real thing, your mind is already prepared to defend itself. That's exactly what we're going to do in this video. We'll walk through 7 powerful steps to build up your psychological immune system. This isn't about learning tricks or fighting manipulation with more manipulation. This is about building an unshakable foundation of self-awareness, reinforcing your self-worth, and mastering the art of boundaries. By the end, you'll have a clear framework for recognizing manipulation early, disarming it calmly, and protecting your mental peace. This is your guide to becoming nearly impossible to manipulate. Section 1. The Foundation: Radical Self-Awareness. Before you can spot manipulation in others, you have to learn to read yourself. Manipulators are experts at finding our emotional bruises. They prey on our unexamined fears, hidden insecurities, and our deep need for validation. If you don't know where your own vulnerabilities are, you're leaving the door wide open for someone else to use them against you. That's why the first, most essential step is developing radical self-awareness. Radical self-awareness means becoming a neutral, curious observer of your own inner world. It's about paying close attention to your feelings, thoughts, and physical sensations without judging them. When you're in a conversation and you suddenly feel a knot in your stomach, a flush of shame, or a spike of anxiety, self-awareness is the part of you that steps back and asks, "What is this? What just happened that made me feel this way?" manipulators thrive in confusion. They want your emotional reactions to be so fast and overwhelming that you don't have time to think. Self-awareness creates a pause. It creates a space between their action and your reaction, and in that space, you find your power. So, how do you actually do this? First, practice regular emotional check-ins. A few times a day, just pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Name the emotion. Is it frustration, sadness, disappointment? Then ask, where am I feeling this in my body? Is your chest tight? Is your jaw clenched? This simple practice grounds you in the reality of your own experience, making it much harder for someone to tell you that what you're feeling isn't real. The second, and maybe the most powerful tool, is journal.rg. A journal is like a collection of evidence for your own reality. When you're dealing with a manipulator, especially a gaslighter, your memory can start to feel fuzzy. They'll deny things they said or did, making you question yourself. By writing down conversations and interactions shortly after they happen, you create an objective record. You can look back and see the patterns clearly. You might write, today he said he'd call at 5 p.m. He called at 9 p.m. When I said I was worried, he told me I was being too sensitive and that he never specified which day. Over time, your journal will show you, in black and white, that you're not crazy. The pattern is real. Finally, a huge part of self-awareness is identifying your personal vulnerabilities. This isn't about blaming yourself. It's about knowing your own operating system so you can protect it. Do you have a deep fear of abandonment? A manipulator might use threats of leaving to control you. Do you hate conflict and crave approval? They'll use guilt-tripping and passive aggression to get you to comply. Knowing these things about yourself is like knowing where a hacker might try to break into your computer. Once you're aware of them, you can put up firewalls. You can say to yourself, that's my fear of abandonment kicking in. That's why I'm so tempted to give in to this unreasonable demand. This feeling is real, but it doesn't have to control my actions. Radical self-awareness is your internal alarm system. It's the foundation for everything else. Without it, you're fighting blind. With it, you can finally see. Section 2. The vaccine. Understanding the tactics. Psychological inoculation. Now that you've started building your self-awareness, it's time for the vaccine. Like we said with psychological inoculation, the best way to build resistance is to get familiar with the tactics. You have to expose your mind to these viruses in a controlled way so you can spot them instantly when they show up in your life. Manipulators rely on a predictable playbook. Once you learn their moves, the magic trick loses its power. Let's break down 6 of the most common manipulation tactics. For each one, we'll define it, see a real-world example, and understand the manipulator's goal. Tactic 1. Gaslighting. Definition. Gaslighting is when someone makes you question your own memory, perception, or even your sanity. The name comes from a 1938 play called Gaslight, where a husband secretly dims the gaslights in their home, but tells his wife she's imagining it, all to make her think she's going insane. Example: you have a crystal-clear memory of your partner promising to go to an important family dinner with you. The day comes, they're a no-show. Later, you bring it up, feeling hurt. Instead of apologizing, they say with total conviction, "We never talked about that. You must be imagining things again. You've been so stressed lately." They might even act concerned, saying, "I'm honestly getting worried about your memory." The more you insist on your reality, the more they deny it, until you're left wondering if you really did make it all up. The goal. The goal is to destroy your trust in your own mind. By making you doubt your reality, The manipulator makes themselves the only source of truth. You become dependent on them to tell you what's real, which gives them complete control. Tactic 2. Love bombing. Definition: love bombing is an overwhelming tidal wave of affection, attention, and compliments at the start of a relationship. It's designed to create a fast, intense emotional bond. It feels like a fairy tale, and that's the point. Example: you meet someone new, and within days, they're calling you their soulmate. They text you constantly, telling you you're the most amazing person they've ever met. They might buy you big gifts or talk about your future together after just a few weeks. It feels incredible. But once you're hooked, the love bombing often fades and gets replaced by control and criticism. You're left constantly trying to get back to that perfect beginning that was never real in the first place. The goal: love bombing is all about creating dependency and fast-forwarding intimacy. By making the relationship feel so special so quickly, the manipulator gets you deeply attached before their real behavior starts to show. This makes it much harder for you to leave later on. Tactic 3. Guilt tripping and emotional blackmail. Definition: this is using guilt, obligation, or fear to control what you do. Emotional blackmail is often a direct threat like, if you do X, then Y will happen. Guilt tripping is more subtle, designed to make you feel responsible for the manipulator's feelings. Example: you tell your partner you want a night out with friends. They sigh and say, "Fine, go. I guess I'll just stay here alone. I was really hoping we could spend time together, but if your friends are more important, that's fine." They haven't told you not to go, but they've made you feel guilty and selfish for wanting to. Emotional blackmail is more direct. If you ever leave me, I don't know what I'd do. I might hurt myself. This puts their well-being on your shoulders, making you a prisoner to their threats. The goal: it's simple: to make you do what they want. By making you feel guilty or afraid, they hijack your decision-making and get you to ignore your own needs. Tactic 4. Projection. Definition: projection is a defense mechanism where someone accuses you of the very things they are guilty of themselves. It's their way of passing the blame and avoiding responsibility. Example: a partner who is cheating might suddenly become intensely suspicious of you. They'll check your phone, question where you've been, and accuse you of being secretive. Or someone who lies constantly might always be saying, "I just feel like I can't trust you." They are literally projecting their own character flaws onto you. The goal, the main goal, is deflection. By keeping you busy defending yourself against false accusations, they keep the spotlight off their own bad behavior. Tactic 5. Passive aggression and the silent treatment. Definition: passive aggression is expressing negative feelings indirectly instead of just saying what's wrong. The silent treatment is a classic form of this, where someone punishes you by withdrawing all communication. Example: you do something that upsets them, but instead of talking about it, they just go cold. They give one-word answers, forget to do things they promised, or make backhanded compliments like, "Oh, you cleaned the kitchen. Amazing, you finally found time for that." When you ask what's wrong, they say, "Nothing. I'm fine," in a tone that clearly means they are not fine. This forces you to anxiously guess what you did wrong. The goal: to punish and control you without taking responsibility for their anger. It puts you in the role of the detective trying to solve the mystery of their mood. This gives them power and keeps you walking on eggshells. Tactic 6. Shifting the goalposts. Definition. This is when someone changes the rules for success just as you're about to meet them. No matter what you do, it's never quite good enough. There's always a new hoop to jump through. Example. Your boss says, "I'd be so much happier if you could just increase your sales by 10%. You work tirelessly and hit the goal. You share the news, but instead of celebrating, they say, "That's great, but now you'll be busier. I'm worried your other duties will slip." This was supposed to make things better, not create new problems. The target you were aiming for has suddenly moved, and you're once again made to feel like you've failed. The goal: to keep you in a constant state of striving and feeling inadequate. By making sure you can never win, the manipulator always holds the superior position and keeps you chasing their approval, which they'll never fully give. Learning to spot these tactics is the most important part of your inoculation. When you can label them in real time, that's guilt tripping, or okay, this is gaslighting. They lose their emotional power, and you can see them for what they are: transparent attempts at control. If you're recognizing some of these patterns, and this is hitting home, take a second to hit the like button and subscribe. Just realizing this stuff is a huge, difficult step. And by liking this video, you help it reach other people who might be feeling just as confused and alone as you have. Your click could be a massive lifeline for someone else. Now, let's get back to building your immunity. Section 3. Building the wall. Fortifying your self-esteem. A manipulator's tactics are like arrows, but those arrows only hurt if they hit a target. And one of the biggest targets they aim for is low self-esteem. They are drawn to people who need outside validation, because those people are easier to control. If your sense of worth depends on someone else's approval, you hand them all the power. To become immune, you have to build a wall of self-esteem so solid that their arrows just bounce right off. Fortifying your self-esteem isn't about becoming arrogant. It's about shifting the source of your validation from external to internal. It's about learning to be your own source of approval, respect, and kindness. This is a game-changing shift that completely disarms a manipulator, because their main weapon, their approval, loses all its value. The first step is to practice what I call aggressive self-compassion. Many of us who've experienced manipulation have a harsh inner critic that sounds a lot like the manipulator. You have to learn to talk to yourself with the same kindness you'd give a friend. When you make a mistake, instead of "I'm so stupid," you learn to say, "That was tough, and I did the best I could. What can I learn from this?" Self-compassion is the antidote to the shame that manipulators feed on. Next, you need to actively take inventory of your own value. Manipulators work hard to make you feel worthless so that you believe you need them. To fight this, become a collector of your own strengths. Get a notebook and list everything you're good at, every accomplishment you're proud of, and every quality you like about yourself. Handled a tough work project? Write it down. Are you a loyal friend? Write it down. Made a great meal? Write it down. When you're feeling low or being criticized, you can go back to this list as a source of hard evidence of your worth. It's a reminder that your value is yours, and it doesn't depend on one person's opinion. A more advanced technique from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is to actively challenge your negative self-talk. CBT is based on the idea that our thoughts create our feelings. After being manipulated, you often internalize negative beliefs like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm unlovable." To challenge these, you have to act like a detective. When the thought, "I'm not good enough," pops up, ask for the evidence. What is the actual proof that I'm not good enough? Then, look for counter-evidence. What are sometimes I have been good enough? This process breaks the habit of automatic negative thinking and helps you build a more realistic view of yourself. Finally, and this is crucial, you have to make a conscious choice to stop seeking the manipulator's validation. This is incredibly hard because the relationship has trained you to see their approval as a form of survival. You have to go on an approval fast. This means making decisions, even small ones based on your own judgment, without worrying about their reaction. It means validating your own feelings. When you feel sad or angry, instead of looking to them to tell you if you're allowed to feel that way, you tell yourself, "My feelings are valid. I feel this way for a reason." Building self-esteem isn't a quick fix. It's a daily practice. It's the slow, steady work of building an internal fortress. Each act of self-compassion is a stone, each acknowledged strength is a brick, and each moment of self-validation is the mortar holding it all together. Over time, you'll build a sense of self so strong that no manipulator can even find a crack. Section 6. The reinforcements. Building your support. Networker manipulators' most powerful weapon is isolation. They will try to cut you off from friends, family, and anyone who might give you a different perspective. They want to be the only voice in your head. This is why building a strong support network isn't a luxury. It's a critical survival strategy. Your support network is your team of reinforcements, your reality checkers, and your lifeline to the world outside the manipulation bubble. When you're deep in it, especially with gaslighting, your world can feel like a funhouse of distorted mirrors. You lose your sense of what's real. A trusted friend can act as a flat, clear mirror. You can tell them what happened, and their simple reaction, "Wow, that is not okay," or "That sounds really unfair," can be an incredibly powerful dose of validation. It cuts through the fog and reminds you that your feelings are legitimate. So how do you actively build this network? First, you have to fight the urge to withdraw. Manipulation is exhausting and often fills you with shame, which makes you want to hide. Make a conscious effort to reach out. Reconnect with old friends. Make regular plans with family you trust. Even a weekly phone call can be a lifeline. The key is consistent contact with people who knew you before the manipulation and who truly have your best interests at heart. Second, and this can be a huge, transformative step, is to consider professional help. A therapist who specializes in emotional abuse or trauma is like a professional guide who already has a map of the territory you're lost in. They can do things friends and family can't. They provide a safe, confidential space to unpack everything without fear of judgment. They can officially name the tactics you're experiencing, which brings immense validation. They can teach you proven therapeutic techniques. Therapies like CBT can help you challenge the distorted thoughts the abuse has installed. And DBT can give you powerful skills for emotional regulation. Most importantly, a therapist can help you rebuild your sense of self from the ground up. Seeking therapy isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of incredible strength. It's admitting you've been wounded and are taking an active role in your own healing. Your support network acts as an external immune system while you build your internal one. You don't have to do this alone. In fact, you can't. Connection is the antidote to the poison of isolation. Section 7. The long game. Committing to your recovery and resilience. Becoming resistant to manipulation isn't a one-time fix. It's a process and a long-term commitment to your own well-being. Especially if you've been in a manipulative environment for a while, the effects can run deep. It's essential to see this as a lifestyle change, not a quick fix if you want to build true lifelong resilience. First, it's vital to acknowledge the potential for trauma. Long-term exposure to psychological manipulation can be a form of chronic trauma. It can lead to things like anxiety, depression, and even complex PTSD, CPTSD, which comes from repeated relational trauma. You might find that even after you're out of the situation, you have trouble trusting people, you're always on high alert, or you have a deep feeling of worthlessness. These are not signs that you're broken. They are normal responses to an abnormal situation. Just giving yourself permission to heal is the first step. This journey means continuing to practice all the steps we've talked about. Immunity, just like physical fitness, requires ongoing maintenance. You have to keep practicing self-awareness, checking in with your feelings and honoring them. You have to keep fortifying your self-esteem, celebrating your wins and challenging your inner critic. You have to keep holding your boundaries as if they are sacred. These skills are like muscles. The more you use them, the stronger they get. Every time you recognize a manipulation tactic, hold a boundary, or validate your own feelings, you're doing a rep. You're making your psychological immune system stronger. A critical part of this long-term resilience is learning to trust your intuition again. Your gut feeling is your body's built-in threat detection system. Manipulators train you to ignore it. They tell you you're too sensitive or imagining things. Over time, you learn to silence that inner voice. Reclaiming your immunity means relearning how to listen to it. When you meet someone and something just feels off, even if you can't explain why, trust that feeling. When your stomach clenches in a conversation, pay attention. Your intuition is a powerful form of intelligence, and it's one of your best defenses. Trust it. Finally, be patient with yourself and celebrate the small wins. Healing isn't a straight line. There will be good days and bad days. There will be moments where you slip back into old patterns. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Every time you say no to something you don't want to do, that's a victory. Every time you walk away from a disrespectful conversation, that's a victory. Every time you look in the mirror and speak to yourself with kindness, that's a victory. Acknowledge them. They are proof that you are changing, growing, and taking your power back. We've covered the 7 key steps to building your resistance to manipulation. Building self-awareness, learning the tactics, fortifying your self-esteem, setting boundaries, using neutral communication, leaning on your support system, and committing to the long game. If you've been feeling like you're walking on eggshells and constantly questioning your own reality, I want you to hear this loud and clear. You are not broken. You are not too sensitive. You are not crazy. You have been on the receiving end of a toxic pattern of behavior designed to control you. The fact that you watched this video to the end proves you're ready to take your power back. Building resistance doesn't mean you'll never meet another manipulator. They're out there, but it does mean that when you do, you'll see them coming. You'll recognize the tactics for what they are, desperate bids for control. You'll feel that familiar pull of guilt or doubt, but you won't be ruled by it. You will stand firm in your reality, shielded by your boundaries and grounded in your own self-worth. You have the power to break this cycle. You have the right to relationships built on mutual respect, not on control. Awareness is the first and most powerful step, and by taking this time for yourself today, you have already begun to heal. You are well on your way. If you want to go even deeper into setting and holding firm boundaries, check out the video on your screen right now. And for more content designed to help you protect your peace and build a life on your own terms, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you for taking this time for yourself today.